Here we are, we're doing a little bit of puttying. Now a lot of people out there will be using plaster, and that's fine if they can't putty with a knife, just use plaster. This is the way I do it, and I've been doing this for many years. The only time I'll use plaster on the putty is every now and then we'll do a house out in the bush somewhere and the mice will come in and eat all the putty. Yep, they'll stand up on their little back legs and they'll eat all the putty and the skirtings and the frames up to about 8 or 9 inches high. And then we've got to turn around, and this is in finished houses. The putty's had a coat of undercoat on, plus a coat of gloss, actually 2 coats of undercoat and a coat of gloss. And the little buggers still eat through it. Now I haven't had one for a long time. Hopefully I won't have it here because I'm out in the bush here. But yeah, so yeah, this is how I go about doing it. Make sure your knife's really sharp. I sharpen it by using the concrete, just like that. Now this carpenter here has gone way overboard on his nails, but you can see, you know, how it's going to come up. And what we do, we put an undercoat over the top of that, then we'll plaster that, then we'll sand it, and that's how we do them. But you can see there's so many nails, you know, he's just gone overboard. And yeah, if you're plastering, it would be a massive job. But just roll along with me and watch how I go about doing it. And the good thing about a sharp knife, sometimes the carpenter leaves a plastic hanging out of the nail hole. So with a sharp knife you can get rid of that, and we have a shiny spot here, basically where we cut it, roll it around and put some pressure on it and push that putty in. Now these hide putty knives, well actually plastering knives, are just really good for this, and this is what I use it for. They're very strong. You can sharpen these up to razor sharp. You don't want razor sharp on puttying, but you want it sharp. You want to be able to cut yourself. Now putty will go, this is linseed oil based putty, so it's an oil based putty. It was designed, look, I wouldn't even like to give you a guesstimate of when it's designed, but it was used for, you know, maybe even back in the 1800s. It was used to set windows, glazed windows with, and then the painters used it for the window glazing. But yeah, it's been around that long. This is a linseed oil based putty. There are other putties, obviously, water based ones probably, but this will set rock hard. I mean rock hard. If you get a piece of putty out, I'll just make sure you can still see that. If you can get a piece of putty out and leave it out for a week, you'll be surprised just how hard it becomes. And you can thin this down a bit with linseed oil, but to be honest with you, nowadays they just don't use linseed oil because yeah, I don't know why, but in the old days they used linseed oil with paint to prime with. Now it might take a while to get this knife sharp, so I actually have a second one that I keep. This one is not as sharp as the first one. You'll see they're different ages. This one's a lot sharper than this, and I use this for my other areas that I don't want it so sharp. But I can still putty with it, but it's not as successful. If I was up on the scaffold, for example, and I dropped my putty knife, I'll just pull the other one out, so using it. You tend to wear these edges out here, where the newer ones have squarer edges. I don't know if you can see that. You see the wearing out of the edges there? And this one's got a lot squarer edges, so I can get in a lot closer. With this one here, it'll sort of miss that a bit. This is one of the first things you do in the house. You come in and you putty up. And while you're looking around, you can fix things. Putty, you know, is a good way of getting around your whole house to find out what damage there is around the place. And I'm using my knee pads, of course, as you can see there. So just scoot along on them. I do have a trolley which I haven't used for a long time. I might have to pull that out and show you that one. One of my old videos shows me using a trolley while I'm gapping, I think. I'm not sure where that video is, but it is available, it is public. I might try and find the link to it and add it to this. But I used to use the trolley when I was puttying as well. And that way you didn't need to wear knee pads as much. So I do everything I can reach from here. I mean, if you were to be bending down doing this, you could never be up close and personal, and you could never have the quality that just gets the dirt out of the holes. There shouldn't even be any bloody holes there, but anyhow there is. See, watch this. That's how sharp that is. So I just roll this up, getting ready for the next hole. You see that hand there? Getting it ready. It's rolling that putty up, ready to stick in the next hole. A bit like a sewing machine, I suppose. We've got a nail hanging out there, so you need to punch it in. This house has been really good for nails. Some of these buggered carpenters, every second nail sticking out. It's very frustrating. How are you supposed to putty when you're always putting their bloody nails in? So you do a swipe first, and that gets rid of any stuff that's hanging out, and then you know where the nail's good. So a swipe first, push it in. Every nail hole is important. Remember that. Every nail hole is important, because that can be a defect. And there are thousands of nail holes in these houses. Thousands of them. So you don't want 1,000 defects. So if there's one sticking out or he's just out and you're just hitting it with the knife, punch it back in with the punch and hammer. See, like here, I just see this. Now I can fix that now. Now it's there, I can fix it. See, Plaster has plastered it, but didn't push it in. So he's just wasted his time. It's not cool at all. This is a good thing about puttying, with being the first thing you do, is you can fix these things. Now I've already been around this house with a light and sanded all these, too much plaster on there, sanded all these corners up here. That's where that plaster dust is there. Some of them didn't need sanding, but a lot of them do. I've already done that with the light. Well, I hope that's helped you a little bit with your puttying. Obviously not everybody will want to putty with a knife, but that's sort of how I do it, and that's how I've been doing it for a lot of years. And I've had a lot of success with that. And then after it gets another coat of paint, and then just gets, you go around with a light with a bit of plaster, and it's all good. It's a very easy sand plaster too. Okay, bye. Catch you later.